From All About the House. In this video, I'm going to just walk you through my blog post planning process. So, I used to be a really crappy blogger. I used to never blog consistently. I'd chuck like 5 posts up in 5 days, and then it'd be like 5 months before I'd post another blog post because I didn't have all of my blog post ideas sorted in one place. It's so important to have them in one place. I had them in a Word doc on one laptop, a different Word doc on another one, on my tablet. I had ideas on my phone. I had it everywhere. It was really messy. I was like, oh my god, I should blog about something, but I know I've got all these ideas. I don't know where I have written them down, and it was just mess. It was chaos. So I created a Word doc. You could also create something similar in Apple Pages or whatever you want to use. So this is the Word doc that I've set up. This is the original template that I created. I've gone and resaved this with all of my own blog post ideas, etc. But I just wanted to show you the blank template. So you can type in your blog name. You can personalize it to suit. So I've got some instructions in here. This is my system that I use, but you can adapt it to whatever works for you. So what I do is basically you can read that, but I'll just run you through. What I do is I've got my contents, so I can see where I've got all of my subtopics. So the main things that I blog about are graphic design, online business, and running an Etsy shop, and then printables. And then I've also got free printables as well. So I have all of my blog topics, which are become these ones here, my blog subtopic. And then I also have a free content ideas section, which I've converted this subtopic 5 into. So what you do is, this is already set up to be, for example, head 1. So the head 1 font style is what shows up then in your table of contents. So the way to get that in Word is to use headings, and then you would go references, table of contents, and then you can set it up that way. If you click, it will bring it up, and it will bring it into the front here. If you want to navigate in the Word doc, just press Control F and it will bring up the navigation menu. If you click this button here, you can jump to whatever section that you want. So this is one of the main reasons that I prefer to use Word for these sorts of things, when I've got a lot of things happening all at once. If I had each of my blog post drafts in a separate Word doc, it would just be an absolute mess. If I did it in WordPress, then if I didn't have internet connection, I'd be like, oh, I'm halfway through writing that post, but I can't access it. Or even worse, I have a bad internet connection where I live, so I'd go to all this effort of typing a blog post. I'd write like 300 words, and then I'd go to save it, and then it would cark itself, and everything that I just wrote would disappear. So that's why I prefer to draft my blog posts in Word and then copy and paste it into WordPress and add the links afterwards. So once you've entered in your subtopics, so let's say that my first subtopic was graphic design, and then we can see that it's updated over here, so you can just jump if you've got an idea. So I've always got this open on my computer, and then I think of all these ideas throughout the day, so I can just go to my Word doc and then jump to the section and quickly jot down some notes. It's so important that you jot down notes as you have them. Don't think, oh yeah, I'll write that down later. No, you need to write it down straight away so you don't forget about it. And then for each category, so my category 1 within graphic design might be Photoshop, tutorials, or I could have anything else relating to graphic design, so like doing a workflow, choosing colors or branding, all that sort of stuff. And then you'd have your blog post ideas. So let's say I wanted to do a tutorial on how to use clipping masks in Photoshop, which I do have a tutorial for that, by the way. And then what I like to do is, I've just got this set up as an example template, so you can just delete these out when you've started adding your own, is add a date planned. So there's lots of different ways that you can plan out all your blog posts. You can use calendars, you can use weekly planners, etc. I do have a printable blog planner which I use in conjunction with this. So I like to just put maybe an indicative plan date, but then I actually pencil it in on my calendar using pen and paper with my blog planner. I'll include a link below this video if you are interested in that blog planner. I'm getting really tongue-tied, or want to learn more about it. So basically I just put an indicative date here. This is not a date that's set in stone. It's set in stone once I write it in my planner. You don't have to write the date if you don't want to. You can just put the blog post idea if you want to. That's just my planned. So for example, if I'm doing something that's Christmas themed, then I know that I should be doing it at that date. So then I come here and I jot down all of my ideas. You can list them all out. And then when I'm ready to actually start drafting blog posts, what I do is press enter to get out of the little dot points function, and then go to home and choose heading 3, and then we can see that it's gone. This is my categories, graphic design. Then my category within that is Photoshop tutorials, and then in here is where I've got all of my blog post drafts. So by using this navigation menu, I can quickly see all of the drafts that I have. Okay, it's time to do a blog post. These are all the ones that I've drafted, just cut and paste it in, done. So then I type it out. So if my idea is how to use clipping masks, we can see that it's live updating on the left there as I'm typing. In Photoshop is my blog post idea, and I've got that up here. And then press enter and it'll get rid of that heading style and it'll go back to normal. You can change the font type to any that you want. I just leave it at Calibri or whatever font I've got, and then when you copy it into WordPress, it'll change it to your blog theme anyway. So don't worry about formatting. Things like making sure text is in bold, don't waste your time, because when you put it in WordPress, I'm not sure about Blogger, but I use WordPress, it'll automatically get rid of that and you'll have to reformat within WordPress anyway. So basically just type it out, no formatting, and then copy it in. So then I jot down some ideas for that blog post. So I like to start with an outline. So in this one, I might do things like how to open a document in Word, and then I might have that I need to show the shape tool, and then we might want to do clipping a texture or a digital paper to a word, so using the text tool. So then I just jot down some notes that I want to talk about in the blog post. I like to do video tutorials. They're much quicker and easier to explain things than typing out a great big long post, taking screenshots, etc. It just takes way too long. It's way easier if I just record a video. So if I'm doing a video, then I'll usually put that in brackets at the front here, because then I can see it up the top. If I've got a long name, it can be hard to see if you put it at the end. I used to put it at the end. You can expand that out and see the full name if you wanted to. So I like to mix it up and do a mixture of video and non-video posts. So I do have another post with my favorite Photoshop tools that I'll be doing soon, and that one's not a video post. So I like to do a mixture, and by putting video here, then I know which one is which, to keep it give some variety to my posts. So I jot it down any notes that I have. If I was doing a post, that's basically what I cover in the video. If I was doing a post about let's do the favorite Photoshop tools one. What I like to do is do an outline, so I might do the text tool and then the shape tool and just jot down all my ideas, and then I come back and beef it out. So the text tool we want to talk about, so I would do something like, to change the text in Photoshop, click on the characters menu from the window tab. Blah blah blah, and then I type out all my instructions. Or if I'm doing a blog post about running an online business, or I'm saying this is how you would choose, these are some good investments, and then I go, okay, I recommend that you choose a software that's going to back up your files, and then this is why, blah blah blah. Type out all of your text and basically just start drafting the blog post. If I'm really on a roll, I can just draft the whole post all at once. But sometimes I might just do the outline and then leave it for months, and then when I want to put a post of that blog topic, I can just come back and fill out that outline into actual post and then copy it in. So I like to keep all of my blog post subtopics in all the same Word document. So my one actually has about 200 pages of blog post ideas, drafts already done, ready to go. I like having it in one place because then I can just go there, cut and paste. I'm not checking 5,000 files, trying to remember which version's the latest version. It just gets so confusing. You really need to have one way to organize all of your ideas. So that's how I add it for one. You would just do that for each of your subtopics, and then I have this free content ideas section. So in here I have, for example, a free printable stickers, free printable grade signs like school photo prop, back to school, etc. And then I can list out all of my content ideas. So I like to do a variety. So for example, one post per week will be on graphic design, one post per week will either be on running an online business or a free content idea. I usually only do 2 blog posts because it takes quite a long time to record videos, write a post, to make the post preview images, etc. in addition to my full-time job and then running my 2 Etsy shops and the online shop. It's just way too much to do more than 2 per week. So graphic design is my main thing, so I'll do 1 post on that, and then I know that I need to do another post on online business or free printable, so I can just jump to that section, copy and paste it in, and I'm done. So it's been a really good tool that's really helped me stay consistent with my blogging. So I'm up to about week 20 now of doing 2 posts per week, which is such a big milestone for me because I used to be a really inconsistent blogger. So I really hope that you have found this tutorial helpful. If you have any other ways that you like to plan your blog posts, let me know. Send me an email at allaboutthehouseetsy@gmail.com. I'm always looking at ways to improve, or you can comment below this video. One other last thing that I like to do is do a color coding system. So it's a bit hard with color coding, you can't see it on the side here, but if I jump to that section, I like to highlight the heading and then I color code it. So for example, yellow could be, this is just the outline. If it's in purple, then I know that it's ready to be published. So if I need a post that's ready to be published right now, it's like 10 p.m. and I've really got to get this post out, I just scroll to this section, something in purple, okay great, that one's ready to go. Copy it all, left click and drag to highlight all the text, right click copy, paste it in WordPress and publish. The other thing that you can do is put your tags for your posts in here as well. So I usually draft my blog post and then I'll have tags which are specific to that subcategory. Because I do a lot of Photoshop tutorials, a lot of my tags are the same. So I have Photoshop tutorial, blah blah blah, same thing. It's always very similar tags. Depending on what sort of tutorial I'm doing, I might do how to use clipping masks, etc. So make sure you use a comma to separate them, and then you can copy that and paste it in the tag section of your blog post that you're drafting in WordPress, and it'll automatically put those as separate tags because you've got the comma in between there. So I like to have, I guess, like a keyword database, and then I can just copy and paste it in. For each one I don't need to retype it out all the time. So that's another thing that I use this template for as well. You could color code the text. You could just change the text instead of highlighting. If you wanted to do that, just left click and drag and then change the font color to whatever you want to put. So that is basically it. That's how I draft my blog posts, and I hope you found this tutorial helpful.